Hi, I'm Richard Miller. I'm Genomics Business Manager for National Milk Records, and I'm here to talk today about a small project I've done with First Milk involving NMR, a new technology we've brought into the company, and also how this fits with the whole message of regenerative agriculture. So genomics testing has been well established in the UK now. It's been available since 2010 on females, and the numbers are growing every year, and this shouldn't surprise us. The value proposition for most herds is very high, and it's grown a lot in the last few years. With the increased use of sex semen, the percentage of the herd that needs to be bred pure is now much smaller than it's ever been, which gives a much greater opportunity to select much better herd mothers than we've previously been able to. Of course, the biggest challenge around this is the best genetics lives in the young stock shed, but it's not all of them. So a genomics test allows you to identify the heifers that are good enough to breed to dairy replacement and the ones that should go to beef, enabling those optimal future herd replacements that we all need. And so genomics is well established as a service on farm. The service that NMR have brought in now builds on that same service but adds a lifetime of value to that test. And this service is called GenoCells. And the idea behind GenoCells is quite simple. If all of the cows that contribute to a bulk tank in a milking have been genotyped, we can actually get a somatic cell count for all the animals that contributed to the tank from a single bulk sample. And this is fairly revolutionary because up until now it's required infrastructure to sample, it's required labour to sample, build up, build down times, and generally can only be done on a fairly inflexible routine. So we think this is really going to change the market. Of course, the big win of it is it also ties in with that same single test that you've done to get all that genetic information and gives a lifetime of value on that test. First Milk were really interested with this because it fitted with their regenerative agriculture message. So 2 years ago, I was working with Tony Bruce. She said it would be really interesting to run a project with First Milk farms. So about a year ago, we consigned 6 farms to this project, 2 in Scotland, 450 herd in Cumbria, 3 south of the border, with the aim of actually just verifying for First Milk's management that this was a relevant way of getting cell counts for the herd. So we're just nearly a year into that project now, and what we did, we had 4 recorded herds and 2 non-recorded. The idea of the 4 recorded herds were to work as controls. So what we did was on the standard recording day, we would take the normal milk samples from the individual cows, but we also took a bulk sample. This has allowed us to compile results between the 2 groups just to see how a traditional recording of cell counts stood up with a GenoCells based cell count. And the results have been very impressive. This is a snapshot of one set of results. We can see the correlation here between the GenoCells cell count and the traditional recording cell count along with the individual scores here. One of the most intriguing elements has been that with our German partners, LKV, who've done a lot more research in terms of how the 2 compare. Their belief is that the GenoCells cell count is actually more reliable because if we think of a traditional recording, there's all sorts of factors that can affect the accuracy. So you've got very fast milkings, you've got recorders under pressure to take samples, dirty freeze brands, sometimes scanning gates with RFID that get confused, and sometimes the sampling equipment on farm isn't brilliant. Whereas if we think about a DNA test, we know the results attributed to the cow, as a fair few paternity cases globally would show. So we did this for 4 months. I compiled the results, sent over to Tony. She compared the results for the traditional with the GenoCells cell count, and First Milk are comfortable that this is a valid way for us to get somatic cell counts for all the cows in the herd. So here's a summary slide. So what we can see in terms of the service, we've got that one-off tissue sample which drives all of this important breeding information, whether that's the indexes, the UK PLI, SCI, ACI, or Dairy Wellness Profit, parentage validation, but then coming into these really important parts of building these resilient animals. So production, milk and composition, efficiency, feed advantage, resilience, longevity, fertility, all the elements that drive a successful cow in the herd, and really these all-important health traits in terms of our regenerative agriculture. But of course, if we head south of that tissue sample, incorporate it with this bulk sample, it drives these new somatic cell count management services from a single bulk sample, giving us that all-important subclinical mastitis management, selective dry cow therapy, and also bulk payment testing where required. So it's a really intriguing service. In terms of its introduction into the UK, they'll be coming in from late autumn 2022. The initial services will be really basic, targeting non-recorded farms with genetic information based on the tissue sample and somatic cell counts. As we move into 2023, we move into what I believe are the most attractive service, and these will be hybrid. So 4 traditional recordings in a year, allowing you to complete your Johne's management, Neospora management, complete compositional records to your animals and keep your data up together, and then 8 really easy months in between, or 20 if you want to do it fortnightly, just to give you that high-value cell count information on a very simple basis. So the key take-home points from me now are that genomics is here with us now. It's a really important part of our business is going forward. Numbers in the UK show 50% year-on-year growth, so dairy farmers completely get this technology. We know we're moving towards this, but now we're introducing services that will continue to build on that same test with a lifetime of value, simplifying farm management and giving us really good future services.